again. This is T-Lynn with Prophetic Parenting from the Empty Nest. Today's prophetic parenting is coming from a series of thoughts I had. I was thinking about my daughter Jasmine and the kind of mother she is, and then the kind of mother she came from, which is myself, and then the kind of mother I came from, my mother Queen Esther, and then the kind of mother she came from, Wilhelmina. I was thinking about my grandmother being a very strong woman, strong African-American woman with the strength that was just amazing to me when I think back on it in hindsight. The strength to keep her family together, the strength to keep her marriage together. My grandfather was a very challenging man, in my opinion, and grandmother was the pillow of our family. Everything centered around where she was. She was just a very strong woman. My mother as well inherited that strength. My mother, I can remember her getting up very early in the morning and leaving out, going to work to provide for her family. She was a single parent, to provide for the children, for us, to put food on the table, to put clothes on our back. I can remember even going to the shop when she finally had gotten to a point of training and she started working in the shop. I can remember going by that shop, cutting through the little alley, going by that shop, and she was in there working, single parent, making it happen. And then to the point where she became her own business owner. My Uncle Peter would reconstruct or construct a portion of the house that was her shop. And she worked at home and took care of us. And so I saw a lot of strength, and not unknowingly that upbringing impacted me. Seeing these women impacted me, and I too became this woman of strength, and not knowing it at the time, enduring a lot, and becoming who I am today because of these women, not allowing lack to make me give up, not allowing experiences to make me give up, not allowing disappointment and grief to make me give up, but saying knowing within myself, this is not it. I got to keep going, and then becoming a mother, and that shifting that strength to a whole new level, because then it wasn't about me. It was about me doing what I had to do to take care of my children, to make sure my children were being taken care of. And my daughter Jasmine came to mind this morning, and that prompted this whole train of thought. And I thought about, she too has inherited the strength of these mothers, the strength of Wilhelmina, the strength of Queen Esther, the strength of Tanja, because I thought about how my daughter has those qualities of that strong African-American woman, African-American mother, not just African-American woman, that African-American mother, because when she had a job at one time and she had to be there at 5 o'clock in the morning, and she had 3 children, and you know what? She got up and she was at that job 5 o'clock in the morning. She has had a job where it was very challenging to be there emotionally for her, but you know what? She didn't quit it. She stayed with it. And she did what she had to do to bring that paycheck home, because she had to put food on the table and she had to put clothes on those children's back. I'm very proud of her for that. Now, Jasmine has done a lot of things that I have not approved of, but I see the strength of the mothering, that bloodline of mothers that's in her as a mother. It makes me very proud of her. That took me to a train of thought. My daughter's a good mother, and she gets that from her examples. And I'm proud of that heritage. I'm proud of that legacy that we have as strong African-American women, stemming back from, as far as I know, from Wilhelmina. I didn't know family past her, but I knew her. And when I thought about women, mothers that come from that cut of women, it makes me proud of the heritage within my bloodline. When I think of women, period, that comes from that cut of women, those women that press past the lack, those women that press past the obstacles in their lives and go out every day and do what they have to do to meet the needs of their children, to meet the needs of that household. Many being single parents, like my mother, like Jasmine, press past and do what they have to do to meet the needs of their children. Women from that cut press past and do what we have to do to meet the needs of the gift that God has given us in the earth. And that brought me to the spiritual aspect of those thoughts. God has given you a gift. At your birth, He has given you a gift, a purpose that one day you are to birth into this earth. And if we look at that gift, that purpose, the way we see our children as mothers, if we see our purpose, our gift, the way we see our children, we're going to think differently about making sure that purpose comes to pass. Think about this. I'm a she-bear. I'm a she-bear. When it comes to mothering and my cubs, baby, let me tell you, don't come for mine. And I know that Jasmine has that same trait. I remember her telling me about a time she was on a megabus with Trey, and some lady was throwing shade and trying to mess with her baby. And she started sending text. She said, "Ma, I hope you got some bond money because this lady coming for my baby and I'm about to slap." Lord have mercy. Pray for that child. But I got it because she's just like her mama. You can't come for mine. Now, by no means am I going to uphold them and uphold their wrong. Jasmine, same child, has done a lot of things, like I said before, that I have not approved of. But that's still my child. Now, I'm going to get on her. I'm going to fuss at her. I'm going to stay on her. I want her to do right. I want her to do right things. And I'm going to be that mother. But I'm also going to be that mother where you try to come for mine, that's a different story. Because I'm anointed to correct that child and guide that child and put that child in check. That's not your child. Don't come for mine. So, yes, that child don't always do what I want her to do, but I love her. That's my child. God gave me that gift. That's mine. He gave me that. And I'm protecting that one. I'm going to do what I need to do to guide her on the right path, but that's mine to protect. That's mine to correct. That's mine to scold. That's mine to chastise, not yours. Stay in your place. So when it comes to that kind of situation, we mothers like me, we can get very protective and we can get she-bearish, if that's a word, over ours. Another one, Spunky. I was the literacy coach at my middle school in Columbia at the time, and I had just left a meeting at the assistant superintendent, where we met once a month. She met with us, and I had one other stop to make, and then I was going back to the school, the campus, and I was crossing over Broad River Road. I just crossed the bridge, and the phone rang. I worked with Dr. Smalls at the time. I love working with Dr. Smalls. He was a character. Ms. Davis. I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "I just suspended Spunky." And I said, "What?" And immediately, whatever stop I had to make got put on the shelf. I spent that car around in the middle of Broad River Road and headed back to Gibbs Middle School because I needed to check on the gift that I had birthed in the earth. I needed to check on my child. I needed to know, what did someone do to her, or what happened to her? What changed her environment and her circumstances to bring her to a point where getting suspended was her consequence? Because suspension from one of mine does not represent the parenting that I give. Suspension does not represent me as a parent. You know, I had the kind of parent, Queen Esther was notorious for this. When you went out, you represented her. When we went out, we represented her. And she used to always say, "You ain't going to embarrass me out there. You're not going to embarrass me out there." And I found myself saying the same thing. I have become my mother. I find myself saying the same thing. "You're not going to embarrass me out there." So the fact that she was getting ready to get suspended was a representation on me. And I had to find out why. Why was I getting suspended? Because that's the way I saw that. If you're getting suspended, that means I'm getting suspended. What is going on? So I headed to the school because I needed to know. And we shift into that as mothers. We shift into that mode where whatever is surrounding our environments, when it comes to that cub, you're going to have to wait, slow your roll, hold a line, put a stop sign there, because I need to go check on this. I need to know who messing with my cub. And when you think about that emotion and that passion that comes up in you when somebody is about to touch yours, if you think about your purpose the same way, it's going to change your mindset. When the enemy starts messing with that gift that God has given you at your birth, that you are to birth into this earth. When the enemy starts messing with that, you might lose your passion a little bit. You might get discouraged. You cannot get to a point where you say, well, I guess it wasn't meant to be. No, you wouldn't say that about your child. Like I said before, Jasmine's done things I've not approved of. Can I sit there and say, well, I guess she wasn't meant to be, when she's standing right there in front of me? That is crazy. I can't say, well, I guess Spunky wasn't meant to be. She gonna get suspended. No, I'm going to see about that. I'm going to see about those children. I'm going to find out what's going on. I get very protective of when something is going on with my children. So when something is going on with your purpose, when the enemy, he don't want you to fulfill that purpose, he's going to try to do things to make you give up. He's going to try to do things that make you say, well, maybe that wasn't meant to be. Of course, he wants you to say that because he don't want you to fulfill that purpose. So try to think of your purpose as your child, as one of your children, and become that she-bear over your gift, the same way you become that she-bear over your children. Become that protector over your gift, the same way you become that protector over your children. I remember when Katrina happened and I ended up in South Carolina, and I started saying, the enemy got me for a long time. I started saying, well, maybe that was just a season. You know, I love my pastor. I love my church. I love what I do. It was a lot of work, but I loved it. And I just couldn't fathom starting over again. It was a lot. Everything was on the shelf during that time. I was just very, very discouraged. I was tired. Katrina had come through and literally washed away everything I had, props, plays, bins, inventory, stuff that I had built up over the years. And I thought I was getting ready to launch out and just start to do this thing on a full-time basis. I was looking forward to having to come out of my job and just do me and do ministry and do plays and do poetic storytelling and do what God has given me to do. And Katrina came in and washed everything away. And I was spent. I was exhausted. And I started saying within myself and even out loud, well, I think maybe that was just a season. I don't mean that's what I was meant to do forever. Well, I was wrong, because that gift in me to write and produce plays and stuff like that, that is in me. It's what I do. Even those years where I thought it was on a shelf, I started doing it again on a small scale basis. We would do little skits here and there at the church, at my mother's church or whatever. I did it because it came natural for me. It's what I do. So when the enemy is doing something, is causing circumstances and things within your surroundings to mess with your purpose and mess with your vision, discourage you, and you're not able to get certain things done, and you're discouraged, and you're not able to accomplish this, and this backfired, and you thought you were going forward in this, and the event got canceled, or whatever the situation may be, and he's causing you to question your purpose. No, you can't let that happen. You wouldn't question your children. Don't question. You know you laid up there in labor and had those children. So you have to have that same tenacity toward your purpose. You cannot let the enemy cause you to give up on your purpose. You need to go forth and make sure you bring that thing to maturity that God has given you to birth into this earth. You have to make sure that you protect your anointing, protect your gift, protect your purpose. Have that same passion for protection for your gift and your purpose that you have for protecting your children. You know, you would flip a car over to get your child out from under a burning car if that's what it took. Well, you have to have that same tenacity for your purpose. It's parallel. You do what you have to do and trust God along the way to give you the power and the energy and the wisdom and the strength to do what you need to do day to day. As a mother, my goal is to get my children to a point of independence so that when they go out into the world, they are independent citizens. They can hold their own. They're going forth in the confidence and the authority and whatever else they need to be because they've matured. They're going forth as mature citizens to go forth and also walk out the gift that God has given them. I've done my part. Now they're grown. Now they're going, I'm still here for guidance, for reflection, for whatever you need, I'm still here. But you're really an independent gift in the earth that God is going to take over and use at this point. And I sit back and I'm proud to see God working in their lives. Well, my gift is the same way. When it gets to that point of maturity, then I, carrying that gift, housing that gift, can go forward in maturity and independence and the authority of God to walk out that gift that God and that purpose that God has given me in the to walk out in the earth. I am walking out that purpose that God has given me. I am walking out that purpose in the earth. If you see it, as I said, that gift and that purpose is not separate and a part of me. Even though my children are grown now, they are not separate and a part of me. They are independent from me in a lot of ways, but they're not separate from me. When people see those children, they see me. When they see my purpose, they see me. When they see me, they see God, because I'm representing God in the earth. I'm representing him going forth. He has been that parent. He has groomed me. He has matured me. He has weaned me off of milk. He's brought me into table food. He's brought me into maturity and strong meat. And then he gets you to a point where you're able to walk independently. You're able to go out because now you're grown, and he can trust you out there to be out there independently. And whenever we need him, whenever we need that reflection, we need that guidance, we need that strength, we need to go back home to that parent because life has gotten hard. Say, whoo, I just need to come back home to mama's house because I need a break. I need to get away. Whatever the case may be, God is that same kind of parent. When we need to go in there and spend time with him and just get strengthened, get recharged, get revitalized. He's that parent. That's my daddy. And when I need time to go back and be with him and spend time with him, which is daily, I don't really want my children spending that much time with me like I spend with God. But, you get the concept. When they need to come back and spend some time with mom, I want them to come back and spend time with mom. And when they've been here long enough, then I want them to go. I want them to go and be grown. Well, God is not that same parent. His ways are not our ways. But then there are times when God wants me to go out and he wants me to do that thing that he has put in me to do. Same likewise. My children come home and I enjoy them. I love you. But after a while, I need you to go. Go to your own house and go take care of your children and be gone and leave me alone. God don't say leave me alone, but he wants me to go out and he wants me to do those things in the earth that he has purposed me to do, because now I'm grown and there's a responsibility that I am responsible for. There's a purpose that I am responsible for, and I'm to go out there and get that purpose done. And there's a purpose that my children are responsible for, and they ought to go out there and get that purpose done, which is to have your own job and your own money so you won't have to call mama for nothing. Matter of fact, one day you'll be taking care of mama. You might come and buy mama a car. You might buy mama a bigger house. You might send mama on a nice cruise somewhere. Well, go out there and do those things that you are purposed to do. That is work and be an independent citizen so one day you can take care of mama. Same thing. I digress. Okay. So back to what I was saying. We can never say that wasn't meant to be. Or like me, that was just a season because you've seen a little glimpse of how God can use you. No, you have to hold on to that. You have to protect that. You have to cherish the gift that God has given you. You really have to cherish it. Don't miss it. Don't miss God using your gift. And let me tell you what I mean. This is what you need to pray. Lord, don't let me miss it. Don't let my limited thinking get in the way of how you're going to use my gift, how you're going to use me. Don't let my selfishness get in the way of how you're going to use me. Because see, you might be thinking, okay, you've seen someone out there and you start comparing yourself to others and not knowing how God is specifically going to use your gift, which in a lot of times that's what it is. We know he's going to use it, but we don't know how specifically what it looks like. So we see someone else that may be doing that thing and we think that's how we're going to do it. So we start, so when God starts using our gift, we think it's supposed to happen on this big stage, on this large platform, on this, that, and we got it in our head how God is going to use it and what it's going to look like. And that may not be how God is going to use that gift. Perfect example. Me, I can talk about me. This lady, I went to a presbytery, and this lady, this one of the prophets there, one of the persons in the group, they would put you before a team, and it was in mine, this specific one, it was 3 people, and they prayed, and then when the spirit kind of calmed down, then they told you what they saw and what they felt like God said for you. Well, one of the young ladies told me, well, I see you working with women. I see you in a cabin in a mountain, and women are coming to you, and you're talking to them, and then when you finish talking to them, they leave and they're able to go out and do what it is they need to do. You know what Tanja did? I said, boy, did she miss it. You ain't told me nothing about working with no women. I grew up with 3 brothers. I was used to being around boys and dealing with boys. Even in my classroom, I had a way with the boys. And so working with women was never, ever in my scope of how God was going to use my gift. I knew I had a gift of teaching, but working with women with that teaching was never in my scope of how God was going to use me. And look at me now. I have written a book on how I became a daddy's little girl. And God is using that book as a platform and the content of that book for me to do seminars on the daughter's place. I call my seminars the daughter's place. And that daughter's place embraces women from 13 and up. Embraces women, and it has been wonderful. I love doing it, but I never imagined working with women. I was a tomboy. I grew up with 3 brothers. I played football in the street. I climbed the trees. I was rough. So working with women, I didn't see that for me. But here I am, the daughter's place, embracing women and bringing them into a place of wholeness, bringing women into a knowledge of their purpose and stirring up a passion for their purpose, bringing women to a point of dispelling the lies that the enemy has set up in their mindset over the years about who they are and who they are not, and what they are and what they are not, and what they can't get accomplished, and all the lies that the enemy has established in their mindset, dispelling those lies at the daughter's place. Here I am, me, carrying out seminars called the daughter's place. I'm working with those women. Who would have thought? Not me. Because in my mind, that gift of teaching went a certain way. It wasn't working with women. But now, I love it. I go to sleep at night thinking about it. I wake up in the morning thinking about it. I think about it all the time. It's my breath. It's what I eat, sleep, and breathe. I'm always thinking about the daughter's place and what we can get, me and God can get accomplished in that with the gift he's given me to teach, to identify purpose, to identify. It's all I want to do. It's all I want to do. Sometimes I don't even want to go to that job because I want to just stay here and think of what else we could do to get the women prepared, to get them motivated, to get to those that need motivation, to get them motivation, those that need the stirring, to get them stirred, those that's ready to go out, to give them support, and we go out, to do what I can. I love it. So look, I'm a hush because I'm passionate about this. I can go on and on, but I've given you a lot to think about. So think about that. Protect your purpose. Protect your purpose. Don't let the enemy do that to you. Don't let him snatch your drive and your enthusiasm and your passion for your purpose. Don't let him snatch it from you by thinking, by causing you to think that your purpose is separate and apart from you. Just like your children are a part of you, your purpose is a part of you. Just like your children represent you when they go out, your purpose represents you when it goes out. And then when you go out in that purpose, you represent God. You represent your parent, just like our children represents us as parents. You have to be just as protective over your purpose as you are over your children. See, this she-bear, when I got that revelation of the comparison with my children and my purpose, Lord have mercy. That did something to me. Ain't no stopping me now. I'm on the move. That's what you gotta do. Ain't no stopping us now. We're on the move. All right, we're on the move. Let's get it. Let's get it done. Let's get it done for God. Well, this is T-Lynn with Prophetic Parenting from the Empty Nest. I enjoyed this today. I hope you got something out of it. Be strong, be encouraged, be blessed, and be intentional. Be intentional about your purpose and be protected.